Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm reading today for Virgo energy. Virgo messages are starting to come in very thick and fast. I definitely feel like you've got at least one guide trying to come through. You got the song Higher Power by Coldplay. Coldplay's been a bit of a running theme for this set of readings. I've had a couple of people get Fix You, and then I was getting like Apple Martin, who's like Chris Martin's daughter. And I think Chris Martin's the guy from Coldplay, right? Unless I'm getting two people mixed up, which happens sometimes. Everything that happens in a reading is part of the reading, so just be aware of that. Like everything is a message for you in some sort of way. The message that is coming through very, very strongly through multiple songs is that everything's going to be all right. So I don't know what's happening with you, Virgo, but your guides who are coming through really, really want to reassure you that everything's going to be okay. So I do think you've got one specific guide that seems to be coming through more strongly than the others. Again, it's like this higher power. Like you've got the higher power, and the higher power is this guide who's reassuring you, telling you that everything's going to be okay. You had the song Everything's Gonna Be Alright. I can't remember who it's by. I'll try and remember to put it in the description box down below. I'm talking a bit fast just because, again, it's like the closer I got to the reading, the faster the messages were starting to come. So yeah, you've got Everything's Gonna Be Alright. I think it's like, is it like Black Box or something? Is that what they're called? I can't remember. But I think it does sample an older song, which is funny because I was talking about, you know how music samples other music, you know, like that Faith Evans song. Yeah, it made me think about that, which came through for another sign as well. You know, when music, when artists sample other artists and they sample the music and then they turn it into something new, but it's still familiar. So that could be a message in itself, this idea of like taking something old. Now I'm thinking of like the marriage thing, like something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. But it's like taking something old and kind of reinventing it to make it something that feels fresh while still feeling nostalgic. Some of you, this could be in terms of a relationship. If a relationship has got a little bit stale, it's like you want to take all the good stuff and kind of like zhuzh it up, is the way it's going through, like revive it, give it a bit of give it a bit of oomph, but to create something new that still holds on to those old core values that, you know, you're nostalgic about, that you have memories about. This could be about clothing as well. You know, say for example you get your like my nana, I've got a dress from my nana, and my nana was super stylish. She was a Virgo, so for me, like if you're a cross watcher, you're cross watching for a Virgo who's in spirit, like that's your confirmation. But I was thinking about my nana, and she kind of she had a very nice sense of style, and so I did get this dress off her the last time I kind of saw her at her house, and it's like this lovely kind of vintage pattern, and I love it very much. So it could be something like that, like you're inheriting something, or you're getting a piece of clothing off like an older family member, and you're kind of maybe getting it tailored, like sewn in kind of a more modern style. That could also be something for somebody. Yeah, so you had that song Everything's Gonna Be All Right, and you also had a couple of other songs that said the same thing, and then you also had Alanis Morrisette, and she says everything's gonna be fine, 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 right? I've got one hand in my pocket, one hand giving a peace sign. So again, this message of everything's gonna be fine, Virgo. So a lot of reassurance for you coming through. You could be reassuring somebody else as well. Perhaps they're going through something and you're like, it's gonna be okay, we're gonna work it out, one step in front of the other. You're getting a few different signs coming through. You're getting Aquarius coming through strongly. I did have a dream about an Aquarius last night. And you've also got Starman on the table. This is an Aquarian energy. So Aquarius energy coming through very strongly. Could be part of your sign, your placements. If you want to go and look at your full chart, it could be that one of those placements has activated this month, and it's like coming to the forefront, or this is somebody around you. Also, Sagittarius is coming through quite strongly. You've got the Stallion in the reverse. This does really reflect. It's funny, you've got mirrors and I'm saying reflect. This does reflect what I was picking up on, because I was getting something through about a Sagittarius, or again, it could be Sagittarius placements. And this person seems like a really fun friend. Like, you know, you might go out, you might have a good time with this person. They're probably very, very funny. I love Sagittarius placements, but you could find them somewhat unreliable. This is making me think a bit of a message that came through in Leo's reading, where Leo had someone and it felt like this person was a lot of fun. They spent money very quickly. They had a big flash car, but Leo was looking for somebody more reliable and more consistent. And actually somebody a bit more Virgo was the way it was coming through. You know, kind of like Knight of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, you know, someone who is a little bit more like the tortoise that wins the race than the hare. And so this Sagittarius is coming through like the hare, right? They are yeah, definitely. If it's anything like Leo's reading, it's like this person's burning through money. So yeah, the stallion in the reverse, this does seem to be some sort of a rejection of this person, whoever this is for you. It could be a feminine, not necessarily. I'm getting this thing about like a feminine energy. It doesn't feel like you. Because it was kind of confirmed by a song with Beyonce in it, and Beyonce is a Virgo, so this feels like somebody else. Yeah, I'll tell you the song. So you know that song with Shakira, and it's like, he's not worth the drama. Let's not start a fight. What is it? Beautiful liar, beautiful liar. So yeah, you could definitely be dealing with somebody, maybe a guy who is coming through different ways. I don't want to kind of put a gender on it. So it feels like there's somebody who's very seductive, very attractive. Definitely could be, you know, the kind of person who walks into the party looking gorgeous. Because I also had the song, like repeatedly, it's been stuck in my head. He walked into a party like he was walking onto a yacht. What is it? His scarf was apricot. He had one eye in the mirror and all the girls dream they'd be his partner. You're so vain. I got there in the end. Sorry, it took me a minute. You're so vain. I bet you think this song is about you. It's funny because I do tie that into Aquarius energy. I don't know if it came through in an Aquarius reading, or like it feels like Capricorn Aquarius it could have come through for in the past. So yeah, you could be dealing with somebody who's maybe, I'm sorry, there's cat hairs everywhere today. My cat, it's really warm in the UK, so my cat's shedding like nobody's business. He's got like really thick fur and it's just everywhere. But yeah, so sorry, I'm distracted. I'll try and focus. So yeah, this person, so if it's a guy, I'm thinking Aquarius energy, but if it's a female, I'm feeling Sagittarius energy. Now that song, like I say, Beyonce is a Virgo and Shakira, I think, is Aquarius. So I don't know, those signs just they keep on coming up. But there could be a female. It's that kind of, it feels like that kind of situation where say there's a female and the guy's, you know, you're with someone who's a bit of a player, but then it's like the woman that he cheats with, like you and that woman become best friends. It feels like that. Now, I'm not saying anyone's cheating and I'm not saying that's the situation. I don't know how this is going to come out, and it's going to come out for different people in different ways, but it's, for somebody, I'm definitely picking up on this thing where it's like there's this woman and you've got songs like Jezebel by Ricky Martin, Jezebel, Kiss and Tell, an Apex Predator. And so I'm really picking up on this, it might not be cheating, right? If it is a case of like, because it feels like the two women are best friends, this is the thing. So it feels like either it's that situation where it's like the guy cheats, but the two women end up becoming best friends, right? It's like the universe works in weird ways, and it's kind of like, because this happened, I met my best friend kind of thing, you know, in that kind of strange way. Or it could be a situation where there's two women and it's like one woman asks the other woman, like, go and flirt with my partner and see if he bites, like, you know, because it's like knowing a girl who's really attractive and being like, I suspect my partner's cheating, so I'm gonna ask this girl who I know is really attractive to go and talk to him and kind of like see. I don't like that because it's kind of like entrapment, right? It's kind of, you know, I don't think the police are allowed to do things like that, are they? So yeah, I don't know exactly how it's coming through. But anyway, this female energy that I'm picking up on that I don't feel is you, I feel like this is someone else. And again, I want to kind of not make it gendered, but it's coming through as a female. She feels like with Jezebel and Apex Predator, there's some kind of admiration for her. It's like she feels very strong and she feels like she knows what she wants, but she may go through guys very, very quickly, right? It's kind of like, and it's not like a not confident thing. It's not like, some girls, really need, or people, again, I don't want to make it gender, but some people really need that approval, right? It's like they have a lot of relationships because they're always seeking, external sources to kind of validate them. So, they it's like trying to get all the prizes in a way. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like someone who's very, very, very confident, and they don't need a man, but it feels almost strategic is the way it's coming through. Again, Apex Predator and Jezebel, listen to the songs. It feels scary. There's also something a little bit witchy coming through. Now, this was coming through specifically with, if you are a Virgo, Libra cusp, this is talking about you, or this could be something about Virgo and Libra energy like teaming up. Again, it's like, it's something to do with like a Virgo and a Libra, or Virgo and Libra energy getting along very, very well. And I was thinking to myself, because I'm a Libra, and I was thinking about all the Virgos that, like, I seem to just like naturally get along with Virgos very well. And then I've had a lot of Virgo friends in my life, for example. And then I'm thinking about kind of like Virgos that I know that have Libra friends. So I don't think Libra and Virgo are meant to be compatible, at least if you look at kind of like relationship signs. I don't know if they're necessarily compatible in kind of romantic relationships. But again, this is coming through like a very, very strong friendship, or something where like the two signs balance each other out in some sort of way. So it's almost like Virgo energy helps Libra to be more productive and be organized, and Libra energy helps Virgo energy to chill the fuck out and like have a day off. So it's coming through like this really complementary kind of seesaw effect that balances out. So there's this teaming up of Virgo and Libra energy. Sagittarius energy seems fun but problematic in this specific reading. I'm not saying all the time, but in this specific reading. And then there's something going on with Aquarius energy as well. For some of you, there's something going on where it's like you can't save someone, or you feel like you've got someone around you who's being really shady. You have the song Mixed Signals by Robbie Williams, and also the song How to Save a Life by The Fray. And the way it's coming through for me, I mean, interpret it as you need to, but the way that it's coming through for me today is that you've got somebody around you who is very, very, very messy. Again, it's this stallion in reverse. So it's like maybe they're up to something a little bit. It doesn't have to necessarily be shady, but you definitely get the sense that there's somebody lying to you. Again, you had the song Beautiful Liar as well, which is really confirming this for me. And I was shown a fish. So in a vision last night, I was just shown a fish. And the symbolism of a fish for me can mean many different things. But specifically, it was coming through the context of, if it looks like a fish and it smells like a fish, then it's a fish, right? So it's like, if you feel like something's off, right? If you feel like somebody's not telling you the full truth, or somebody's telling you half truths, or what somebody's telling you doesn't add up, it's like, trust that gut feeling. If something feels off, something's definitely off, right? If somebody's being cagey, it's like, say you ask somebody a question, it's like, oh, where were you last night? And they kind of like shift and dodge the question, or you're sort of like, well, that doesn't make sense. It's like, because they are hiding something. And I'm not saying it means that somebody's cheating. I'm not saying, I feel like that's kind of where the thoughts go first. It's like, is this person cheating on me? But I kind of feel like it could be something else. So for example, it could be drugs, or, if this is like a kid, they could be like covering for a friend or something like that. Something feels really off. And then those songs kind of confirm that as well. Oh, the only note that I've not covered is you don't want her attention. So this was coming through like it was coming through like somebody trying to steal something off someone, or this woman, right? I don't know who this woman is, but it's like someone trying to steal something off a witch was the way it was coming through. And it's like, this witch is going to curse you. So it's almost like this confrontation where it's kind of like, are you sure you want to steal this from me? Because it's like, it was coming through like, if you take this from me, you will have drawn my attention. I won't stop thinking about that. And if my attention is on you, and if my thoughts are on you, then it's not like an intentional curse, but it's almost like, oh, you don't want my spirit guides focusing on you. You don't want to bring my magic down upon you. Again, you had the song Higher Power. So it's almost like it's coming through that, like, there could be a confrontation with somebody, and you're saying, right, I can either let this go, like we can either walk away and let bygones be bygones, but if you want to pursue this, if you want to make yourself a problem, then I'm the apex predator kind of thing. It's like, I've got the higher power, I'm the apex predator. You don't want my claws on you, right? You don't want my hyper focus on you, is the way it's coming through. So yeah, you don't want her attention. It's interesting. I don't know where this is going to go, Virgo, but I want to say the Virgo energy specifically, the message is that you're going to be okay. Whatever's going on around you, you do feel like you've got a bit of a group of people around you. Like, I don't know if this is like friends, like, you know, you've got like that messy friend. And yeah, because it's even like, with the songs like The Fray, this could be something in the past as well, like the song How to Save a Life from The Fray. It's like, I wish I knew how to save a life, I wish I was there that night. And then there's that song Everything's Gonna Be Alright, where it says, I'll be here when you wake up. So I don't know if there's going to be something where it's like, again, it feels like it could be from the past, like for some of you, it could be a situation where, sorry, that I'm getting really specific messages for you for some reason. It's not going to be not every single message that's coming through is going to be for every single person, but they are coming through specifically. So I'm just going to give you what I'm getting. It could be a situation where somebody could have lost someone in the past, but that person, like, it's like that messy friend is now your spirit guide. So maybe that's what it is. It's like, you don't want to get on the wrong side of my guardian angel. Perhaps it's something like that. Starman is really good. This is basically just confirming for me that you've got, it's like there's something that is set in the stars. There's something that is protected for you. Like, you are being protected, because there is a certain I think we have a lot of autonomy in what we do in our lives, but I think there's certain markers where it's like, this is an unavoidable event, or this is something that will definitely happen, right? So I feel like the Starman has your kind of map, and they're protecting you. The Stallion is talking about that messy friend in the reverse. The Mirrors is just saying that you can reflect on this person and the people around you in general, and you can look at them and think, what am I projecting onto them? What is this person mirroring back to me? What is this person's behavior showing me about myself? So it's just talking about that self-awareness of, again, it's like, could I have done anything differently? What have I learned from this? What would I like to repeat? What would I like to never do again? Based on the way that people are behaving around you, and this kind of natural comparison that we have about our environment and the people around us is coming through quite healthy. It's not coming through as being like judgmental or detrimental. It's almost coming through like, I'm going to learn from the mistakes of others. I'm not going to do what that person did because I saw that it didn't work out well, so therefore I'm going to make better choices. There's a cat hair on my camera. And the Swan in reverse as well. So as I was moving these cards down so you could see them, the Swan card kind of came out underneath. Which is interesting, because I think Cancer, if you want to go and look at Cancer's reading, they had this thing about like the swan in the mirror, and kind of like, you know, the ugly duckling not realizing that it's a swan until it looks and sees its reflection. So again, if any of that makes any sense, you can maybe go and check out Cancer's reading. Oh my goodness, I didn't want a long introduction for you, but it's like, the energies, I feel like you've got a lot of energies coming in. That's what the problem is with this reading. It's like I don't know, maybe you're experiencing that feeling of, I've got a lot of people who want to talk to me. Maybe just a lot of people are popping around, or your phone keeps going. You just want some peace and quiet. You do feel like you're multitasking with Alanis Morrisette. I've got one hand in my pocket and the other one's hailing the taxi cab. It's like you've got a lot of stuff going on. But also that thing about having one hand in your pocket, that could be something that comes up, especially in relationship to this person who's keeping secrets or they're hiding something from you. It's kind of like when you've got a kid, right? And the kid has something they shouldn't have. Maybe they've got a vape or something, right? And it's kind of like they're not even, it could be a situation where they're not even smoking it, but you know, their friend was like, here, hold this, I don't want to get in trouble, so they have the vape now, and it's like they've got it in the pocket and they're like, oh god, I hope mum doesn't see me with the vape. Which I really hope children aren't vaping, because I think it's very, very harmful, and I don't like how vapes are branded. They have this kind of almost like a lollipop, or like, you know, like a sweetie kind of marketing, you know, because they're these kind of like fruity flavors, and they're into kind of like fun kind of device. They feel like the marketing of them is aimed at younger people, which I think is very, very morally wrong of the companies that are selling these products that are clearly not healthy. So I don't know. Please don't vape. Please don't do things that are bad for you, right? There's other choices. I don't even like my kids drinking fizzy drinks, like sugary fizzy drinks full of E numbers. I don't want them to be inhaling it as well. Okay. Who is Virgo? Okay, do I even want to ask this? I just feel like we're going to get 10 cards. Okay, Virgo spirit guides. If I could talk to the main head honcho that I was feeling coming through, that higher power, right? Who is around for Virgo at the moment? You've got White Tara and Saint Lucy. So these could remind you of people. Maybe they look a little bit like, you know, somebody who's in spirit. It can also be friends, like a spirit working through actual friends and people that you know. So if they kind of resemble people, you know, whoever you thought of first, if you thought, oh, that looks a bit like that person, or oh, that person reminds me of that person, take it as it resonates. If not, just kind of, if you want to take the literal kind of deities on these cards, if these mean something to you, absolutely roll with that. Otherwise, just look at the definitions of these cards and kind of what they represent. So this one says White Tara, compassion, healing, peace, and longevity. That really feels like that friend, you know, like maybe this friend is a little bit spiritual. You're definitely getting this kind of witchy energy. It's almost like good witch energy. And then St. Lucy, charity, faith, and sight. On the bottom, you've got, again, like you've got the hippies around you. You've got the kind of, they're out touching grass, you know. Fertility, this is, I don't want to say it because it sounds like a rude word to me. Fertility, family, and partnership. So, yeah. Very, I don't know, there's something about those two, like they're wearing those cream colours and things. Definitely feel like they're part of some kind of like hippie retreat. But White Tara and St. Lucy. Okay. Tell me a little bit about the energy of the spirit guides around Virgo at the moment. You've got Home in the Sky. That was a little bit secretive. And the Protective Nest. Spirit is absolutely... everything's going to be all right. Perhaps you've been a bit worried about your health. Perhaps you've been a bit worried about what happens when we go on to the next life. I want to say this is a message about don't worry, because your loved ones that are in spirit are feathering the nest for you. So I'm not saying that there's anything going to happen soon. I'm not saying this is like anything you need to immediately worry about. But what I'm saying is you don't have to worry about anything at all. Everything's going to be okay. Your spirit team are making sure that it's like the nest in the sky, right? Home in the sky, protective nest. Like there is a place waiting for you. There is a place that, you know, you're going to be, that is going to make you feel safe when you're in spirit. So yeah, don't worry about the future in that way. Yeah, there's a good place in the afterlife for you, is the way that I would read that. If you want to read it differently, that's absolutely fine. We all have different beliefs. But for me, that is very much like home in the sky and protective nest. Yeah, that feels like, you know, you're going to be looked after in the afterlife. There is a family in spirit, which again, your guides are noisy. Not that they're noisy. I just feel like I've got a group around me. Oh gosh, that is too many cards. And what is Spirit helping Virgo with at this time? It could also be a little bit like the... Let me just get a card from the Animal Spirit deck just before I say this. We'll see. Look, the swan's on the bottom again. With what is it with the swans? That was too... Oh my goodness. This is what I'm saying. The energy... Did you see that? That doesn't happen very often. And that's happened twice now where it's just like a chunk of cards is coming out. Forgive me. I'm getting a mix of Swan Song by Lana Del Rey and a robin feathering his nest has very little time to rest for gathering his sticks of tine and twig. Robins represent visits from spirit for me. So okay, can you confirm if... Sorry, I'm speaking to my spirit guides. Can you confirm to me whether I should say what I'm thinking with that? No, that's something else. Yeah, that's something else. So what I was thinking was it could be a situation where it's like something is coming in for you. So if I had seen the Cosmic Egg card, I would have said that there's something that Spirit's brewing up that's coming in, but it's not that. The tiger card, here it is. Here's that kind of apex predator, Jezebel. You've got someone in Spirit who's definitely... You've got someone really fierce, kind of over your shoulder. You've got someone who's very feisty. It's almost like don't mess with Virgo, because Virgo's got a spirit tiger, is the way it's kind of coming through for me. Excuse me, guys. Oh, breath. So there could be somebody, if it makes any sense to you. Sorry, just checking. I don't want to be rude. The person who knocked on, then we were delivering a message, a package for next door, but they had sort of, I mean, I wouldn't know without asking them, but they looked kind of like they could have been Chinese to me. And then with the tiger as well, I'm thinking there could be somebody who's like, you know, like Year of the Tiger. I don't know, maybe not. Okay, so I'm out of breath. I've only been up and down the stairs, but I did stand on the cat accidentally. He's fine, but because he's been so warm, he's been lay on the floor. Maybe somebody's just got like a ginger cat. The cat's been lay on the floor a lot. He's not been in the places he'd normally be in because he's so warm. He keeps lying on like the landing and like the stair floor, and it's a little bit dark because it's in like the center of the house. So I just accidentally stood on him because he wasn't where I was expecting him to be. So yeah, I don't know. Silly boy. I've ordered in one of those cold mats. It's kind of like, it gets activated. They're on Amazon if you want to kind of like get one for yourself if you've got a cat who's a bit warm. They're kind of like gel pads, and they're activated by the weight of the cat lying on it, and it starts to generate like cold air, and then it kind of resets once it's been left alone for a while. So it's kind of like just this continual use cold mat, like non-toxic as well. So I've ordered in one of those today. Hopefully he's going to cool down a little bit. What's going on, please, for Virgo? What is Spirit helping Virgo with, please? Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more. Like, does he have a car? It could be about something coming through about high schools as well. With Apex Predator. Does he have a car? Or musicals? Mirror, you've got Mirror again. Who or what is triggering you? Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's something happening where someone else's behavior is triggering something within you, right? It's triggering a strong reaction within you because maybe there's something that you haven't healed, right? It's kind of like pushing your buttons because of something that's happened to you in the past. So it's not really like it's about them at all and their behavior at all. It's because there's something in you that is activating in response. So it could be that somebody's behavior is, it's like talking to your shadow. So it's kind of like something you want to do or something you have an instinct to do, but you're ignoring it. For some of you, I am getting a really specific message. Again, you're getting a lot of specific messages. There could be a male Virgo who is interested in a very, very sexy lady. But again, this woman seems to be... if this is the case, she could be maybe like Mediterranean, or kind of sort of like North Africa, like that sort of region, like around the Mediterranean. And maybe Muslim, but not conservative Muslim. Sort of like more, you know, like how Turkey, the country Turkey, it's kind of got West Turkey and East Turkey, and like West Turkey is more traditional, and East Turkey is more kind of metropolitan, you know, and so I I don't know. It's hard because I'm not getting anything specific. I'm getting more of a feel. So there could be something there where there could be somebody who's very a very fiery lady, basically, and very attractive, but more about the thrill of the chase than actually. How do I say it? Because I don't. Everybody's got the right to behave how they want to behave, right? If somebody wants to be very liberal, they can be very liberal. But this is coming through in a way where it's kind of like, you know, it's like that thing about like, as long as everybody has the same expectations going into a relationship, that's fine. But if somebody's entering into a relationship looking for something long term with a person who has a history of being a player, then it's not really a good match. So this is coming through like somebody who's very, very, it's like they're offering a really good time, you know, very attractive, but not longevity. And so I want to say, Virgo, this is triggering something in you where if you're the person who's interested in getting into this relationship, and perhaps you've got a long-term partner, you know, you have a lot of guilt about that, you know, because it's triggering your fears of getting cheated on, or it's figuring your, you know, like, and so if you're the other person, like I say, it's like if it's your partner who's interested in this person, then you're coming through like you're going to end up being best friends with this person. I mean, maybe not, you know your situation best, but it's triggering something. It could be triggering your insecurities as well. But I think there's something important about not comparing yourself to other people, because you know, what works for one person might not work for you. And somebody could be very, very sexy and very fiery and very very fun, and you could feel a little bit, you know, if you compare yourself to that person and you're not those things, it could make you feel inferior. But it's coming through like you have different things to offer. You're coming through a bit like the Alanis Morrisette is the way that you're coming through. You're coming through with like being very trendy, very there's something coming through about, you know, like people who are very fashionable and like they wear the very, very fashionable clothing. And there's somebody who's a bit more like homespun, you know, like in the flannels and the jeans. This was coming through that Libra energy as well, where it's almost like there's something comforting or familiar about that is actually more appealing in the long run than the person who's kind of offering a one night stand in some sort of way. Especially with all this like home and nest energy. I hope this is making sense. I feel, again, I don't want to get anyone paranoid, you know. It could just be, you know, there's no harm in looking, right? Maybe somebody's looking and it's like there's no harm in looking. Right, everybody has their own things that they, you know, everybody's got their own boundaries and their own lines. And that's why it's important, I think, in relationships to know, to have the discussion and to know what's okay and what's not okay in that relationship. Because, you know, for example, I'm quite a flirty person, but I'm a friendly flirty person. Like, I will flirt with friends. To me, flirting is friendly. But if I suddenly realize that somebody's actually flirting, like they are coming on to me, I will panic and I won't be able to talk to them. If I even think, even if I think like, oh, hang on, this is serious flirting, this is real flirting, I'm like, run away. So yeah, it's like, but someone might look at that and think that's inappropriate, or like that, you know, that's crossed a boundary. But like I say, everybody's different, right? Some people are more conservative and some people, the Lovers card has come out. The Lovers card has come out. And the Devil card. Whoa, Virgo. Whoa, okay. All right, hang on. Real talk. We're going, I'm doing your full spread now. So we're going to go emotions, thoughts, and action space. We're going to find out who's doing what here, is what I'm saying. So, past, present, future. Okay, emotionally in the past for Virgo. Virgo in the past emotionally. 10 of emotions, very happy, a sense of having your friends around you, having a community around you, feeling like you have a part in that community, feeling like everybody has a place and everything's been very cooperative. Yeah, that's quite a happy card. So in the past, definitely enjoying yourself, socializing, having the right people around you. Good stuff. Thoughts, Virgo's thoughts in the past. The wheel, something is changing. You did have a message about change, like there's a change coming in. You could have been actually just thinking about how fortunate you were, or predicting a change. So feeling very happy, predicting a change. Having the intelligence and the awareness to know that things don't stay the same forever. You know, the wheel turns, you know, things go up, things go down. So I want to say perhaps this is you preparing for the future. But you've got, that's quite a strong energy there. There could be something about when your friends are up and down, right? Because there's a lot of people in this card, and here, like, people are spinning around here. So it's kind of like, but can you see here, she kind of like holds on. It's almost like as she spins around, she manages to hold on to the wheel, and then she comes back up again. So it's like, as long as you hold on to the wheel, you know, it's like almost like she's dodging the water. As long as I stay connected to something, as long as I stay connected to the wheel, then it'll turn again in my favor. It's almost like I need to ride this out. As long as I hold on, then things will look up again. So there's a strategy in your mind. Okay, action space in the past. What was Virgo doing in the past? Page of emotions. You were learning to express your feelings more. You were learning to be more in touch with your emotions. There's something tentative about it. It could be with one specific person. It could be with a group of people. You definitely seem to have connections being an important factor in the past. So yeah, page of emotions. It's new feelings. It's exploring new feelings. So exploring a new relationship, could be a new friendship. Yeah, it could just be this feeling of like, I need to express myself more. I need to be more open with how I'm feeling. Maybe I need to be a little bit less cagey. But there's also this thing, now this is Capricorn energy coming through. This is a Pisces card for me. It indicates Pisces energy. But for me personally, when I see an octopus, it gives me specifically Capricorn energy. It could even easily be Virgo as well, because it does talk about having many hands. Maybe it's a case of like many hands make light work. You know, I can get my friends to help me with this. I want to say Virgos tend to give a lot to their friendship group. So you tend to be the one helping everybody else out. So I don't know, helping somebody to pack up because they're going to move house, or, you know, helping somebody to dig up the garden. I know my Virgo friends offered to come and do that for me. I'm like, no, you do enough for enough people. I don't need you to come and help me as well. Like, let me just, I'm okay doing the doggy paddle over here. I'll cope. It's like, what else as well? Like, you know, oh, this person's had a bad day. I will go around to the house with a bucket full of ice cream and like cheer them up. It's kind of like you're normally the one multitasking because you've got so many connections to so many people. You are a lot of things. You are like everything everybody needs, but that takes a lot out of you as well. So there is something I want to say about, like, you know how an octopus, can you see this hand here curling back in? Like this hand's, You know how octopuses like feed themselves? So they have like the mouth, like the beak in the middle, and like they put the grabbers out and like they bring the food up to the mouth. So it's almost like, I don't know if it's this thing about calling in favors or, you know, being thankful or being appreciative because you know that one day you're going to have to call in the favor, perhaps, with that Page of Cups. I'm going to get confirmation on everything. And there's the fish, right? Because I was saying if it smells like a fish and it looks like a fish, it's fish. And then you've got a load of fish. So something is a bit fishy. We're not being lewd here. I know what you're all thinking. Currently in Virgo's emotions. Virgo emotionally. It doesn't have to be right now, this specific second of this specific day, but just generally, like, you know, weeks, months. This could be months, years, I don't know. But generally at the moment, how is Virgo feeling? You've got a couple of cards, Nine of Inspiration and the Ace of Voices. You feel like something has been a long road. There's this feeling of, I need to keep going. I can't quite give up yet. Like, I need to stick with this a little while longer. Again, like kind of how I was saying with this wheel turning. It's like you knew this. You knew that the wheel was changing. You knew that something was happening. Something was changing. And maybe you were going to go through a tough time. But if you just held on to that wheel a little bit longer, then that cycle would end, right? The 9 would turn into the 10. You'd put those burdens down and you'd have the fresh start. But you feel like you're waiting for information or you're waiting for news, because this is the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords talks about a truth revealed. And this is an emotional truth for you. So in your emotions, something is like it's like it's grinding you down, which is funny because Leo had no laetitia bastardes, corborum dorum, which is not true Latin, it's made up Latin, but it's from the Handmaid's Tale, and it says, don't let the bastards grind you down. It could be something about political or social, because a lot of people, you know, a lot of people are not comfortable at the moment. A lot of people are really struggling, going from paycheck to paycheck. You know, house prices are going up, you know, mortgage rates are going up, rent prices are going up, electricity bills are going up, you know, the price of everything is going up, right? But, you know, if you know anything about politics or economics or anything like that, it's like what goes up must come down, right? Interest rates go down, then they go up, and then they go down. House prices go down and then up and then down. House prices have been going up and up and up and up and up for a long time, which I don't know how long that curve is going to continue to go up on. So it could be something like that, right? It could be something like, maybe you've had a run of bad luck, or you feel like you've had a run of bad fortune, but you're like, I just have to persevere. I can't give up. Because the 9 of Inspiration in the upright is, I'm not giving up. The 9 of Inspiration in the reverse is, I'm giving up. And you're not giving up. And then you're having this kind of moment of clarity or truth or clear-sightedness, or this could be some information or news, but it's in your emotions. So that makes me feel like you're waiting for it, right? It's like that is what you're not giving up, because you know this clarity is coming. Thoughts, yeah, you're confused though. It's like you've got this confusion with the King of Swords here. The Muse of Voices is the King of Swords. That's Aquarius. So the Moon card in your thoughts tells me that you are experiencing some kind of fear at this time, or illusion. Things are not as quite as they seem. You don't feel like you see things clearly. You do feel like there is some secrecy, or again, it's that fish thing. It's like something's off. Something smells a bit fishy. And so it's like your red flags waving. But then you go to the Muse of Voices, and now the King of Swords is never, he is not confused, right? The King of Swords is analytical. He deals with information. He deals with facts. He's very clear thinking. So with this Ace of Voices and the Ace of Swords and the King of Swords, there is some clarity and truth coming in here. It is like, if this is the rose-tinted glasses, it's like taking those glasses off and seeing a situation very, very clearly. And when you get the facts and information, when you have honesty and when you have clarity, you can start to make a plan, right? But you can't make a plan when you're sat in confusion. So there's this contrast here emotionally and mentally, where here you have this persistence because you're confused. It's like, I don't have any choice except for to put one foot in front of the other because I don't know what's happening in this situation. All I know is that something's changing. And then here is this kind of like absolute clarity of like, this is the situation. And now that I'm clear about the situation, I can start to plan, right? It's like, I can take action now. I can strategize because I can see the situation for what it is. So you've got this weird contrast at this time. It could be two different situations. I want to say here, it's almost like when you look whatever this thing is, whatever this problem or change is, when you look directly at it, you're very, very confused. When you look, it's like having a problem, and it's like trying to solve a maths problem, right? And when you look at the maths problem, you get overwhelmed and you just cannot figure it out. It just doesn't make sense. But it's kind of like, as soon as you walk away from it, can you see here? It's like they've turned their back on it. And like here, it's almost like you're being shown what to do. There's like subtle clues and signs. Like these statues are saying, look away from it, right? If you look away from it, you can see it clearly. And then you look away from it and you have the clarity because it's the King of Swords. So with the mirror, I'll call this mirroring. You know how in Greek myth, is it Perseus who meets Medusa? And he can't look at her directly, because if he looks at Medusa directly, he's going to be turned to stone, right? So he looks at Medusa using his shield. He has like a really highly polished shield that's reflective, and he can look at Medusa with the reflective shield. So it's like, I'm just trying to explain what I'm seeing here. It's like when you have a problem in your life, you don't know what to do. You feel overwhelmed, over emotional even. It feels like, you know, your emotions are clouding your thoughts. And look here as well, she's looking away. Do you see this? It's like, look at how head on these two cards are. When you face this problem head on, or when you look at it head on, especially like alone, you just have overwhelm and confusion. But all these signs telling you to look away from the problem. It's like, put it on the shelf, put it on the back burner, look away from it, like her hair's covering her face. As soon as she looks away, she has clarity. So it's almost like, let spirit deal with this for you. It has the feeling of like, you know, like a watched pot never boils. So if you sat there waiting for water to boil, it never boils. But the second you walk away from it, like that's when it boils. So it's making me laugh because, again, I work in a kitchen, and I work in a kitchen with a Virgo. My kitchen boss is a Virgo. It's like, say tea cakes are a particular problem because tea cakes have a high sugar content. They have like raisins in and stuff. So if you put them in the toaster, which you're meant to do, it's not something you're not supposed to do, but you have to keep an eye on them because they burn very quickly. But if you sat there and you're watching these tea cakes and you're checking them, it's like they don't cook. You know, it's like, oh, they're not cooking yet. But say, for example, it's like, I'm just going to get the pot of butter ready. And you walk away and it's like 10 seconds and that tea cake will be black and burnt. So that's kind of how it feels. It's like, just step away from it for a minute. But also with the mirroring and this thing about projection. So say, for example, this is like a relationship problem for you, where it's like you've got something going, it doesn't have to be that, right? It can be the maths problem. But say this is a problem with a relationship, and it doesn't have to be romantic, it can be any relationship in your life. And it's like when you're looking at it head on, all it does is confuse you. And so this is saying to me, turn away and reflect. So it's like, what if this was a friend? If you were giving, the advice you give to yourself is different than the advice you give to a friend, right? What would you say to a friend in that situation? Like, what if this, what if this, has this situation that you're facing happened to anyone else that you know? What did they do? So yeah, there's something in that, because facing this head on is getting you into, it's like analysis paralysis. And I say this for you a lot, Virgo. You overanalyze, or you hyper focus, and then it you get to a point where you get overwhelmed, or you can't make a decision because you've overthought it. So again, it's kind of like step away, turn away, and then the solution will become clear. It does feel like the maths problem thing, where I say this to my kids, like, or even like playing a computer game. So I'm thinking of Tomb Raider specifically. So the old Tomb Raider games, I don't know why it's coming up like this, because this is such an old analogy, but like the original Tomb Raider games, like 1, 2, and 3, I would get to points where I would get completely stuck. I'd hit some kind of puzzle, or like, a door that I couldn't figure out how to open, or maybe a section that was just too hard. I couldn't get past that bad guy, and I'd just get really, really stuck. And the more that I would try and do it, the more frustrated I would get. And then sometimes it'd be like, I put it down, go make yourself a cup of tea, or, go for a walk and come back. And then the next time I picked it up, the solution would be simple. And so again, it's like, sometimes the more you stick with something, the harder it gets. And the second, it's interesting as well, like, there's definitely something about not looking at it, right? It's kind of like, when people are like, don't look directly at the eclipse, wear sunglasses to look at the eclipse. I know that she's kind of, this is about vision and being blind, but again, I was talking about kind of like the rose tinted glasses. So there's something about the way you're viewing a situation that's blinding you. Unless it's something about literal blindness, in which case, I don't know, go to the optician. Speak to a doctor. I'm not an optometrist, I can't help you with that. Speak to the right people speak to the right people who can help you. Speak to the people with the information and the training that will be able to help you with whatever that problem is. Because the King of Voices is, he has a lot of information. He knows what he's talking about. He, she, they. What's in the action space for Virgo, please? Action space for Virgo. Something about your home, potentially. Four of Inspiration is talking about laying the groundwork, getting the foundation. Sorry, you can't see it. Laying the groundwork, setting the foundations right about something. So this is kind of like, get the basics of it solid. Get the, again, this is making me think of work a little bit. So say, for example, it's coming through like salad. Again, I don't know why it's coming through like this. So it's kind of like, get the basics of the salad right first. Source the lettuce that is going to be consistently fresh. Make sure you get the right tomatoes that have a really nice flavor. It's like, get the basics of the salad right first, and then you can start to experiment. It's like, then you can start to add different things, but like, get the basics of the salad right first. So you can apply that as a metaphor to many different things, right? It's like, get the groundwork done, get the framework done, get the foundations right, because you don't want to build something upon something that has faulty foundations, because all that work could crumble. If this was a house, for example, like my house is a bit worse for wear, and it does have a little bit of structural stuff that needs doing. So it'd be like, what would be the point of me putting wallpaper up if that wall's going to fall down? And then the 10 of Voices and the 5 of Voices. You've got problems. It's like trouble in paradise. So you started out with this group. And again, I was saying from the start, it feels like you've got a lot of people around you, right? A lot of people in your ear. So you had this happy community and everybody was doing the same dance at one point. But the wheels turned. You have a problem and it feels like people are in disagreement about how to solve this problem. So like you've got this little happy scene here. Think of a little happy community. Like, it's like, here you are with your witchy sisters. Okay, so sometimes I get a lot of information from visuals. There's something about, it's like somebody's changed their style, right? It's like at one point you were all into this fitness trend is the way, like at one point you were all into wellness, but it's something about the hair. Literally, it's just the hair that's telling me this. It's like this friend who was really into this one thing is now into a different kind of fitness. It's like she was into yoga and now she's into running, right? So it's like something's happening with a friendship group for you. I want to say it could be family. It's like the people around you. Something's happening where you were all consistently on the same page, but now what's this thing about like turning away, right? Like there's the four that are still doing the yoga, and then these are kind of like being pushed away. Their vision's being pushed away. So you were once part of a group that were all happy doing the same thing. And some of that group is still continuing to do the same thing. But it's like your spirit guides are trying to draw your attention to something else. And your spirit guides, I want to say, are drawing your attention to this one. And this one is doing something different. This one has changed. One person in your group has changed. And it's making a conflict. And it could be, again, it's like they've changed their interests. So with it they've changed their fashion sense. It's just like, do you see how I'm seeing that? It's like there's the four who are all still doing the same thing, but then there's this one, and it's like, well, why has that one changed? Why is that one doing something so different now? And the Ten of Voices tells me that this is, well, the Five of Voices, the Five of Swords is conflict, a conflict of interest, a conflict of ideas, even arguments. And then the Ten of Voices is kind of like a painful ending. So normally it's that feeling of like getting betrayed or stabbed in the back. So do you feel have you betrayed someone? Because this is your energy and it's your action space. So it's what you're doing. Part of a group, either being betrayed or it's like stabbing someone else in the back. And that's not to say you're a bad person. It's like whatever you've done, I'm sure you've had a reason to do it. But it's something to do with this one who's no longer part of the group. This one who's doing something different. But it could be you, right? It could be that you've outgrown a situation, or you knew that there was a certain situation where like the time was up on it, you know, like this is not going to stay the same forever. We have to, again, what was I saying about innovation at one point? It's like we have to innovate, we have to change, we cannot stay the same. Like I know this was good, right? I know this was good while it lasted, but spirit's forcing me to look away from this, something that's a problem, or this situation itself has become a problem. So it's like spirit won't even let you look at it anymore. But what is catching your attention is this one. Yeah, it does feel like that. It feels like, you know, when something is so, when you've had a problem that's really been very, very draining for a long time, and maybe there's nothing you can do about it, or every time you try and do something about it, you just hit a brick wall, right? So you've got this sense of, I have to keep going with this. I can't give up on this. But then I just don't see a solution. But it's almost like when you step out of the room, or when you end this cycle, the solution and the path become clear. Because it's something like when you're looking at the moon's representing the problem, or the thing that needs a solution, right? That it's like you're hyper focusing on it. And so because you are hyper focusing on what this problem is within a group, I want to say, you're not seeing this, you're not seeing the solution because you're not looking at the solution. It's like to know what the solution is, you need to turn and look at something else. Like, don't look at the problem, look at what else is going on, because the solution isn't part of the problem. The solution is external to the problem, and the problem seems to be something within this group. So it's like this one who is outside of the problem, you won't notice her until you turn away from the problem, because she's not part of the problem, she's part of the solution. Okay, that was hard to get to, but we got there. So future emotions for Virgo. King of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so you think you formulate a plan here. When you get the clarity, when you turn away from the problem and you get the clarity because you see this other one, you start to get into doing mode, which I love, because this is very Virgo energy. The King of Pentacles, the Muse of Materials, is the King of Pentacles. So if you were one of the kings, you would be the King of Pentacles because it's Earth sign energy. I normally say that's Taurus, but Eight of Materials as well talks about that kind of perfectionist energy of like, I'm going to get this exactly right. I'm going to work on this skill until I've perfected it. So this could be talking about learning an instrument, right? And getting from level 1 to level 10 or whatever level it is that you get to. So this is kind of like, I'm not going to, here I've thought about it. Here I had clarity and came up with a plan. And now the plan is in action. And I'm going to do it again and again and again and again until I perfect it. So again, I'm thinking about my Virgo boss again. She's been really into fermenting, so like fermented cabbage and things like that. She's got all these jars of like things that she's been fermenting, sort of like pickles, but not pickles. And then she's also been into the idea of kind of like growing her own fruit and vegetables. So she was growing mushrooms, like regular kind of salad mushrooms. And she was doing really, 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 really well. And then kind of at the last moment, it kind of failed. But she's learned so much, right? So she's like, okay, so that didn't work out, but I learned so much through the process that I know that if I do it again, I'll do it really, really well. So she was talking about, and this is the perfect example of what I'm talking about, because it's like she was saying, I'm gonna put that on the shelf for a while, right? I'm gonna stop trying to do the mushrooms, and I'm just gonna go back to fermenting and kind of like this again, like fermenting. It's like it's kind of like sauerkraut and things like that, right? Like, or like making pickled cabbage, but it's not pickles, it's like, just in case you didn't know what it was, because I didn't really understand what she was up to at first. But it's like, it's really healthy, it's good for your gut, you know, that kind of thing. So she's like, I'm going to put all my attention and all my focus onto this, right? And I'm going to perfect this, and I'm going to get the process down, and I'm going to make it really efficient. And then once I've made that really efficient, so that it's so that it feels, she's so like, she's on this eco-friendly kick. I absolutely love it. So she's even doing things like oh, what's it called, fertilizer, you know, like kind of like you throw away all your scraps and you like turn it into fertilizer. She's doing that whole thing as well. So she's like, I'm going to get these processes down perfectly first. Like, once we've mastered this, once this is kind of like, we've done it so much that it becomes second nature, you know, it's just something that we do automatically because it's part of the process. She's like, then I'll go back to the whole mushroom thing. So yeah, it's like, that's how it feels. And I love it. King of Swords, coming up with the plan, and then in your heart, you know it's time to put this plan into action and to perfect it, because that's what I was talking about there, right? It's like, get the basics right, get the foundations of this right first. And also that, like, the multitasking will get easier. You know, this thing about kind of doing too many things at once. Like, try and focus on one thing. But whatever that problem is, that problem thing, turn away from that, like shelve that. Because yeah, that feels like analysis paralysis or confusion over something. Okay, future actions. Why have I put it like that? Future thoughts, please. Future thoughts for Virgo. The Magician. Yeah, you know you can make this happen. You've got you've got everything you need to make this happen, and you know it. The Magician makes dreams come true, but the Magician is not just a dreamer. They have all the four like suits of the tarot at their disposal to make it happen. So they normally on the Magician card, these kind of orbs are representing them. Normally on the Magician card, you have a sword, a pentacle, a cup, and a wand, which are all the different tools of the tarot. So it's like everything you need is on the table in front of you. And again, it's this thing about like getting the foundation right, getting the basics right. So you've just got this one table here, but you have, I wonder if it's the right people. So maybe you're putting a team together for something. Maybe this is a work thing and it's like, I'm going to put a team together and I need to get the right team. So you know how I was talking about you know, the Virgo and the Libra working really well together. So it's like these two people are compatible, right? These two people are compatible and they bring different things to the table. Because like I was saying, it's like the Virgo is the planner and the doer. And then Libra is also good at planning because they're an air sign. But, you know, they're a little bit more, they're chill. You know, they can help the Virgo to calm down and relax a little bit. And the Virgo can help the Libra to kind of work a little bit more. So, yeah, it's like get the right four people. Get the right team together. And then it like improve the skill. So it's kind of making it's funny because I posted an image of The Craft yesterday on social media. So you know the film The Craft? It's like the four witches, right? So it's like you're getting your coven together. So you have like the witch of the north, the witch of the west, the witch of the east, the witch of the south. Or you have like an air sign, an earth sign, a fire sign, a water sign, right? It's like you've got to get one of each on this team to get the proper balance. So it's not weighted too and you're not missing anything. And action space for Virgo in the future. The Hierophant. Could be getting married. I don't know. Maybe these are bridesmaids. But again, there's four lights. The Hierophant does indicate some kind of like authority or organization. So this could be something to do with work, because it can indicate like the government and things like that as well. Yeah, it only gave me one card, so I guess I'm going to go to my clarifiers. I'm not sure about that Hierophant, why that's there. 10 of emotions in the past. Yep. So externally from you, yeah, it feels like maybe a work thing. So it's like this is like a team. This is like people who are working together, and this is talking about balancing out the workload or paying everybody fairly, paying people for their contribution, something like collecting money in order to, because it's kind of like they took these things and wove it into something new, which is what I was talking about. So this is what you were doing with this group of people. Definitely there was something collaborative and probably something about time, resources, or money in regards to that. The Wheel card. So I'm asking about external factors now. This is all you so far, and then this deck is like external factors. The Wheel card, that is too many, but you've got the World card there again. So yeah, definitely a cycle ending. Yeah, Queen of Cups, a lot of love, a lot of affection for that past situation, taking a leap of faith into something new, knowing that it's time for something to end, and having a lot of nostalgia for the past as well, having a lot of nostalgia for the stuff that ended. A lot of love and a lot of nostalgia for the past situation. But you know it's time for it to, you know it's time for something to end, and you're quite excited to start something new. Well, that's what you were thinking about in the past. What's the Page of Emotions? 8 of Swords. I feel like your heart kept you stuck in a situation. It's like you couldn't see a way out, right? You had so you had so many ties to that previous place or that previous group or situation. It's like there were so many threads tying you to all those different people and different energy that were involved. So it's kind of like, well, how can I possibly? I love this place so much. I feel like I'm trapped here. Like my love for this situation, my love for this place is keeping me trapped. My nostalgia for the place, which could be why this moon's here with the rose tinted glasses. Tell me about this situation where it's kind of like looking at this problem face on is getting this person stuck. What's that regarding? Yeah, it's like you just couldn't see how to have this new start. So it's like you turned your back on this old situation because there's nothing here anymore, right? You've got everything you can out of that old situation. So now you want to go and have this fresh start, right? You want to take the jump into something new. You know that the world is turning, you know that things are changing, you know that the situation is changing and you are changing with it, right? Nobody stays the same forever. It's like, you know, fashions change. We develop, we grow, we get interested in new things, right? Nobody's the same consistently for their entire life, right? There are variations, whether it's just, again, it's like a different way of dressing or, you know, a different band, a different style of music that you get into. But every time you looked out that window and you started planning, so planning to travel the world or something, it's like you got overwhelmed and you got confused. It's like you just couldn't see, you just felt really, really trapped in that old situation and you just couldn't figure out how to get started on that new situation. It felt impossible. A lot of fear. And so tell me about the Ace of Voices and the King of Voices, like this clarity and strategy. Where is that coming from? The clarity and strategy. What is helping Virgo to feel clear? 2 pages. Could be something about children, specifically if you've got an earth sign and a water sign child. But I want to say that there is definitely this sense of you're definitely formulating a plan and it definitely feels a little bit out of reach, a little bit impossible, because the Page of Cups talks about dreams and possibilities and imagination and hopes. It's quite naive though. It doesn't really have a plan, right? So this is why the flying pig is here. It's like when pigs fly, right? It's like out of reach. Pigs might fly, but it's a dream. It's a big dreamer energy. And then the Page of Pentacles is more grounded, where the Page of Cups is more I wish. The Page of Pentacles is more I do, I plan. So the Page of Pentacles is like something happens where you get clarity and you start to plan. And this is telling me that you're planning for some kind of dream that felt impossible. And you are figuring out the roots of this thing, right? You're figuring out the roots of why you feel this way, like something in your past that made you feel like this, or, you know, why you want to do something, why you're motivated to do this. Or it's this feeling of let's ground these dreams. My instinct is to say that you want to ground a dream into reality, which is a very, very Virgo thing to do. Love that about Virgo energy, because it's followed by the Magician, who does ground dreams. Like that's literally what they do. They take the dreams, they take their imagination, they take their ideas, and they ground it into reality, into things. So that's a really nice combination of thinker, dreamer, doer. You know, a lot of the time people will be one or the other. You know, a lot of people will do without tapping into the creativity of the Page of Cups. This is Pisces energy, this is Virgo energy for me. Or, you know, somebody will dream about it but never do it. I'm a bit like that. I'm a bit of a dreamer, not a doer. So having both is the perfect combination. You know, and it's here, there's 3 aspects of this Magician. So you just need the love, right? No, that you've got the love. You need the wands. You're missing the creativity. You've got the swords, the pentacles, and the cups. You're missing the wands. I don't think you have any strong wand energy. The only wands you've got in this reading is the 4 of Inspiration. But that seems connected. Oh, and the 2 of Wands there. and the Nine of Wands. But there's nothing spontaneous, there's nothing energized about those 3 cards. You need like the energized ones, which I want to say something to do with this one here. Like this character here has that energy to them. Tell me about the Ten of Voices. Why is the Ten of Voices here? Could be a situation where someone said something and it felt like a betrayal, or you said something and someone felt betrayed. Ten of Voices. It's in your current energy. The Emperor. Could be a boss. Somebody in charge. Could be a father figure. It's a high authority. Again, this idea of like you've got a higher power, but this is external to you. This person is the one that's making you, is the one connected to this energy in some sort of way. It's not coming through clearly for me. I'm not sure what that is. It's like, look at that, how gorgeous that card is. Yeah, it does feel like one person is walking away from a group. It feels like a betrayal. Could be a case of like, you know, like you've got a friendship group, it's like 4 girls, and then one of the girls gets a boyfriend. And it's like, you know, she becomes all about the boyfriend, then it's like the group now has 3 people in it. I don't know. Tell me about this Five of Voices. What's going on here? Oh, immediately 5 of Pentacles. Someone feels really left out of a situation. It's like the door got closed behind. I want to say it's a situation where there's some sort of friendship group. One person leaves, it feels like a betrayal, and then the door closes behind them. It's like, if you leave, you're not coming back. So this person's kind of out in the cold now. I don't know if that's you or them, though. It feels like them, right? If you're not going to do this with us, if you want to go on your own path, go on your own path, but don't expect to come back. You know? Like, once that door's closed, it's closed, is how that kind of feels. So this person's took some sort of hit or some sort of loss from this. That's financial. It's not cups, it's pentacles. So this person's definitely locked out of some sort of finances, or, you know, doesn't have access to a home or a workplace anymore. You know, so say, for example, you left a job. Say you left an office job and you used to get free office supplies or discounts on office supplies because of that job. That'd be like, well, if you leave, you don't get these perks anymore. You know, if this is a bit more serious, I know that in America, you know, everything's tied to your job. So like your health insurance, you know, to get medical treatment, you know, a lot of the time that is covered by your employer. So if you leave your job, you don't have health insurance anymore, which is crazy to me because it's so corporate and it's borderline tyrannical. Like in the UK, if you leave your job, you still have the NHS. You know, you're still going to get an operation if you need it. It might take a long time. You know, there's a big waiting list, but you know, the resources are there. So yeah, it's like, okay, if you leave this country, you don't have access to NHS treatment anymore. It's, you know, it's something like that. It's like someone's losing the perks. But you seem to be, whatever you're doing up here in your heart, you seem to be planning. You're perfecting your planning, and you want, like, it's like heartfelt to you that you want to put this plan in action. So what's that about? Maybe you want to protect people, right? You don't want people to feel like this. So anyone who's part of your network, you want them to feel like financially covered, you know, financially protected. So maybe it's a case of like, I don't want to just, yeah, this is part of the, there's the King of Wands. Yeah. Yep. Okay. It's like you find the right person. You find the right person to help you with this. So there's the King of Swords again, who we saw down here. This is the part of the planning process. I've lost him. I don't know where he's gone. Here. So the strategy, the plan, the clarity can be, say you want to build your own business or something. This might be somebody to do with like contracts or law, you know, somebody who's going over the like the rules, the regulations. They're very, very knowledgeable and intelligent. Excuse me. So this could be the person drawing up contracts. King of Wands is creative, natural leader, inspiring, energized, fun to be around. This is the person who gets everybody else on board and everybody else fired up. Ten of Pentacles is about, again, it's that sense of kind of like all our needs are covered in this community. Like we're building the foundations of something where we're going to feel abundant. We're not going to feel like, again, it's like what you want to do here in your heart is like you're collaborating with these other people to kind of like to build something together, and you're still really feeling quite passionate about this over here. It's like you really want to build this framework, this community, this group that financially supports one another. I mean, we don't really do this massively in, you know, sort of, I guess, in like my culture anymore. You know, people tend to just look after their own immediate family, you know. I'm not out there kind of financially supporting my cousins or anything like that, but I know that in some especially I feel like Middle Eastern or maybe again like maybe Mediterranean countries, you know, the family is really, really important. And you know, if a new baby is born, it's like everybody gives money from like the extended family. You know, if someone needs to start a new business, everybody in the family gives money. Someone needs to, you know, and I'm not, that's stereotyping to a certain extent, but I do feel like it's something that's more practiced in certain cultures than it is perhaps, you know, at least from where I'm from. So it's kind of like if one of us falls down, if one of us falls on hard times, everybody else is there to pick them up. So it doesn't have to be specifically family, but that concept of we look after our own, almost as well makes me think of like old guilds and like Masons and things like that, you know, these networks where it's kind of like, you know, you have that communal kitty. And you know, for example, if a member passed away, they would make sure that you know, the wife and the family were looked after, you know, even after, you know, that specific member had died. You know, the family of that member are still have access to advice or resources or, you know, things like that. So it's like having a group to call upon and wanting to create that. Especially with the Three of Cups there and the Ten of Pentacles, there's this real feeling of community and network and support. So the Magician, you're thinking about this, you're thinking that you can do this, you have the capability to do this. Strength, and I'm just going to take those two cards. There's a lot of cards there. The Knight of Cups and the Strength card. It's like your heart's in this. It's I want to say there is somebody around you who is able to, like, this is a dreamer. Again, this is that Pisces energy. But this person outside of you, because like I said, this is outside of you, they bring you strength and they bring you support and they show you love that's going to raise your confidence. So, you know, it's the person who is, I love Pisces energy. Like, honestly, Pisces and Virgos, I mean, I can't have enough Pisces and Virgos in my life because they're very giving and they're very kind and they look after me, and I'm a hopeless case and I need that. And I can't give back at the same level. I don't have that capability. I don't have the emotional range that Pisces do. Like, I've got a Pisces friend and they're like, it's never your fault, you are perfect, kind of thing. It's like, and I'm like, yes, I am the problem though. And they're like, no, you're not the problem, you know. And the support that comes from those signs and those placements, maybe you have Pisces placements, and then like the confidence, like this Leo energy coming in now, it's like the person who makes you feel good about yourself, the person who makes you feel like you're worth $1 million, pounds, whatever you want to say. So it's like somebody outside you, and it doesn't have to be romantic, somebody outside you who, when they show you love and appreciation and affection, you have that confidence boost and you feel like you can do whatever it is that you need to do. And you do have whatever, you know, in your thoughts, you know that you have everything you need to accomplish your dreams. It just might be that this person helps you realize it and helps you see it about yourself. Remember, you've got this Pisces energy here as well. It's like when you turn away from the problem, this solution, this person helps you see that the solution was in front of you the entire time. But it takes turning away to be able to see it. And then the Hierophant. Why is the Hierophant here? There's something sneaky. This is really confusing me. So this is in your future action space. You're showing as the Hierophant, which is very committed, very by the book. But then you've got a Seven of Swords outside of you. And the Wheel. So ending with the Wheel. Why do we have that sneaky behavior there? There's something going on in your action space that's telling a very different story. It's like you've got a saboteur in a group, is the way it's coming through. It's funny because you've got that Jezebel song, right? Jezebel, kiss and tell. You use your body just to cast a spell and sell your story. Can I get an energy of that one, please? Can I get an energy on that one? The Cosmic Egg in reverse. The Cosmic Egg is the card that I was expecting to see earlier when I was asking about, you know, these cards, this Home in the Sky Protective Nest. And I was thinking, and I was saying, if I see the Cosmic Egg, then what that means and what I was feeling with that was that something's happening in spirit, right? There's a dream happening. There's something happening energetically. And it could just be in your imagination, right? But I want to say it's like something that your guides are planning. And I was saying, if the Cosmic Egg card comes out, then it could be some sort of like dream home, which again, it feels like that's what you're trying to create, right? You're trying to create this dream home. Maybe it's the thought of like buying a big house. I know that, again, like this is something like some friends have spoken about. Specifically, it is a Virgo and a Libra who that like they have that kind of best friend energy and like mutually supportive. And it's kind of like, we could buy a really big house and all my friends could live in it, you know? With the egg. So I was like, that's what it is. If the Cosmic Egg card comes out, then this is something that's being birthed in spirit, but it's like, it's energetically there, but it needs to be grounded. But that came out in the reverse. And that's the card I was expecting to see. But now it's in the reverse. It's something like, it's like you're trying to build this perfect situation, but you have a somebody who, and it's not, doesn't mean it's intentional, but you could have a saboteur energy in the mix, right? There's somebody who's part of this group that is, they're not in alignment with the rest of the group. And it's like the universe can't bring this thing in for you because it'll get sabotaged, right? Because that's the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the structure, right? It is the house. It is this thing that you've been trying to build. Like the Ten of, it's kind of like the Ten of Pentacles, major arcana. But externally, you've got the Saboteur. So it's almost like the universe can't let you have this until you see that one, until you look at that one and you see that one, because it's like you can't have the saboteur in the nest. It's kind of like, don't some birds or lizards do that? It's like the lizard will lay its egg in the bird's nest and the birds will raise the lizard, and then the lizard will be born and it'll eat the eggs. It's like there's there's an imposter, right? There's a... Oh, well, let's get a song, because I can't get any more than that. Let's see if Spotify has the answer. What is that? What is that? Help Virgo see it. Oh, okay, you got an advert for a construction company. I don't know why Spotify does this, but sometimes they think I'm like a multi-billionaire CEO business owner, and they're like, so your billion-dollar construction company needs needs this random service, and I'm like, I don't... Maybe you are literally building homes, building houses. It could be that. Could be something about construction, because you got a construction advert. The song that came through was What It Feels Like for a Girl by Madonna, though. What it feels... I love that. The music video for that is great. She breaks a grandma out of a nursing home and takes her on a joyride. It is a bit of a criminal spree, so don't do anything that's like overly dangerous or criminal. But what it feels like for a girl. Girls can wear jeans and cut their hair short. Wear shirts and boots because it's okay to be a boy. But this is a Madonna song, by the way. It's not my own words. But for a boy to look like a girl is degrading, because you think that being a girl is degrading. But secretly, you'd love to know what it's like, wouldn't you? What it feels like for a girl. Silky smooth, lips as sweet as candy. Tight blue jeans, skin that shows in patches. Strong inside, but you don't know it. Good little girls, they never show it. When you open up your mouth to speak, could you be a little weak? You've got an apex predator in disguise. So it's like somebody who acts really sweet and innocent, but they're a tiger. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing kind of thing. Like they're pretending to be a sheep, they're pretending to be part of the group, they're pretending to follow, but they're an apex predator. Make of that what you will. I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna fold washing while I'm still in Virgo energy. I'm gonna do something around the house before it wears off and I go into Libra energy. Do take care of yourselves. I hope that reading's helpful. Again, you've got a lot of messages from Spirit saying everything's gonna be okay. But they really want you to see a situation for what it is. They really want you to see something clearly. Because at the moment, you've got some rose-tinted glasses on. And look, she's got... Oh my God, yeah, look! How did I miss it? Like, I say, like a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's like you've got this little farm full of sheep. And then, like... See? Like, here's the tiger. Or the lion, I should say. She's after your little sheep. I don't know, how strange. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Stay safe. Universe absolutely has got your back. They keep saying everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. But the universe wants you to see something. All right, I'm going to go. Take care, and I will see you again soon. Bye, Virgo.